You know what would make that better? A cup of white cane coffee.
Wow, that really is great coffee.
White cane coffee, because every cup makes a difference.
Here at Casella, we make temporary dumpster rental easy, offering services that are perfect for construction, remodeling, special events, or other short-term projects. Casella dumpsters are available in a wide range of sizes to fit any job. Our dedicated customer service team will help you choose the right size container and service level for your project and schedule hassle-free removal based on your specific needs. The right size dumpster, when you want it, where you want it, removed when you say so.
On Conowingo Avenue by Beatty at 7:30.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. As White Cane Coffee presents Coffee and a Conversation, Brian Hagberg with you on your daily local. We're in the White Cane Coffee Cafe this morning. Got myself a fresh cup of Dragon's Roast. You can stop into the cafe, get yourself a fresh cup, get it one of these special laser engraved tumblers, get it filled with the purchase. When you bring it back, get 50% off your refill as part of the White Cane Coffee Mug Club. While you're here, you can pick up a Danish cinnamon roll. Apple fritters are fantastic as well. Stop in around lunchtime. Soup and sandwich is now available at the White Cane Coffee Cafe. If you can't make it down here into the plaza across from Tops, that's not a problem. White Cane's also available on DoorDash. Just place your order, have your favorites delivered right to your door. You can also order your favorite roast and brew at home online at whitecanecoffee.com. This is Coffee and a Conversation. Our special guest this week, Jim Decker, Warren County Chamber of Business and Industry. More importantly for this week, part of the Warren Worx Executive Committee. And Jim, some big news coming out of last Monday's city council meeting. City has signed on. Commissioners have signed on. COG's ready to go. Warren Worx seems like it's about to start working. So, and then we talk to people a lot of times and we say Warren Worx and they say, what's that? So a little bit briefly, kind of what is Warren Worx and what are the ultimate goals for Warren Worx?
Great. Brian, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Appreciate the support you give all our programs. And I have to agree that the White Cane Coffee's
fantastic.
Top notch. Warren Worx is an initiative that came out of, we've been talking about it at the Chamber for about 2 years. Actually got stimulated when we were in converse with the Mackin Engineering firm that was doing the county and the city comprehensive plans over the last 2 years. And what it basically focused on was that we knew the comp plans were coming out. We were talking with Mackin Engineering and the city and the county people that were engaging with them. And as always is the case, the whole focus of those comp plans is to interview the community. Say, what is it you want to see in our county? Right. What do you want to see in the city? What's important to you is a community development kind of piece. And then they come up with catalytic actions that address those needs and desires. So the shortcoming has been, unfortunately, all too often that the plan is done, the plan is published, and actions are identified, but that follow through, that allocation of resources and prioritization of those action items gets lost in all of our day-to-day other responsibilities. And we really thought we need to change the means of dialoguing across the county to ensure that doesn't happen. And not to say that Warren Worx is focused only on those comprehensive plans, but one of the first items out of the block, we've talked for a long time between the city and the county and so forth, that we need to be doing a more comprehensive, focused, strategic marketing of Warren County. Warren County Visitors Bureau does a great job with the tourism marketing, destination marketing, and what's going on and making people aware of what's happening here from a tourism perspective. But we don't have a good, hey, this is Warren County. This is why you should look at Warren County to come and live here. This is what we offer for professional opportunities. These are the business opportunities that are available. These are the jobs that are available in Warren County. So we're missing that piece. So the first big action of Warren Worx will be, first of all, engaging a professional marketing firm. We sent an RFP out, almost a year ago, to 7 firms across the East Coast, looking for proposals on how they would come to the community and create a community brand. So we've been vetting those responses. Now that we have the go-ahead, now that this is real, we'll be going back to that group, updating their proposals, and then finally vetting them out with the executive committee and a few other folks selected because of their expertise in marketing. to determine which one we want to engage with,
Right.
To move that initiative forward. And that's something that we should be able to get in place by the 1st of June. Turnaround time is October-ish timeframe that we should have that brand in a toolkit that is Warren County. This is how we want to present Warren County to the world.
Yeah.
That toolkit will be provided to organizations and the companies to use in all of their outreach pieces, not trying to overstep any of their individual marketing ideas or plans, but this is, hey, we're a proud member of Warren.
Right.
And this is what our communities has to offer you. From a recruitment standpoint, we look at it, if you can't get them to move to the community, you can't get them to move to your office.
Right.
So let's work together to get them here, and then we'll fight over them.
So it's more like when if a Betts is at a trade show or something, this would be something they would take with them there and present, as opposed to instead of putting out our job lists or what we're hiring for, come to Warren County kind of thing. Yeah. It's more as a complementary piece.
It's a complementary piece, and it hits that quality of life initiative. Yeah. Again, if you can't get someone to be interested in living in your community, you can't get them to be interested in working for you.
Yeah.
We've heard for decades the difficulty in recruiting professionals. What does the trailing spouse do? Do we have and now you have the children and you have all these things you do. What do you do when you're not working? You want to have that robust community in some place you're comfortable in. So it really is intended to help all of our companies with that recruitment piece to answer that. Why would I want to live in Warren?
Right.
Okay, I found a job that I kind of interested in, but what's my life going to be like? We need to sell that.
Yeah. Where am I going to live? Is there space for my spouse and kids, and what school are they going to go to, and all that kind
what
of
is
stuff?
There to do, and how do we do all those other things other than work, right?
Yeah,
that are increasingly more important to all of us.
And so you said this has been kind of a 2-year discussion within the chamber. How did you kind of come to the formation of who should be included and how you presented it to them? And
well, it was really easy as to who should be included, and it's basically anybody that's got a stake in the growth of Warren County.
Right.
So we're talking about all the municipal officials, organizations, and individuals, businesses across Warren County. And our first major pitch was to the Council on Governments. So you represent 20, I believe, of the 27 municipalities. Yeah. Does this make sense to you? Does this resonate with you? Is it something that you can get behind? How do we tweak it to make it efficient? Unfortunately, they're all in on the concept of Warren Worx and coming to the table and being aware and helping us with that communication piece. They have an outreach committee. We've met with them several times where they're trying to improve their outreach of what the Council on Governments is doing to the constituents that they have. So we're going to dovetail with them to make sure that we use that resource to help us get the Warren Worx message out too. So people are aware of what we're doing.
Yeah. Well, and how important was it? So many of these initiatives that we've seen kind of over the years have floundered for whatever reason, but one of the main things that you hear whenever somebody proposes something like this, a betterment, a revitalization, development, whatever, if you go out to the Sheffields or the Pine Groves or the Youngsvilles or Tidiutes, the common refrain is, they're just talking about the city, right? Yeah. And so how important was it then for you guys to say, and look, we're going to COG, the Council on Governments, because we need everybody involved. This is not just a city-focused thing.
Exactly right. I mean, it's difficult. I've been in this business for almost 30 years now. Some say that's probably 25 years too long, but patience. And we've fought that angst between county and the city, and we really need another driving force. We need to understand what's happening outside the city.
Yeah,
we're responsible and engaged across the county, and it's just a matter of communications.
Yeah,
it's all about communication, coming to the table, putting the egos aside, and saying, okay, we need to see good things happen in all of the communities of Warren County. And a win in Youngsville is a win in the city, is a win in Sugar Grove.
Right.
So it's really about what is it that you want in your community, in your sphere, and how can we collectively help you achieve that?
Yeah.
And I haven't seen anything, and we saw that come through the comp plan community surveys.
Right.
I think the focus is really pretty consistent in one area to the other.
Mhm.
It's a means of who has the resources in place.
Right.
Or if you don't, how can we help you with the process to go from A to B?
Right.
And that's the whole intent. It's all going to be about the willingness of people to come together and talk openly and frankly and with trust.
Right. Well, and that's, I mean, I've had a lot of people on this. We're just over a year into the running of Coffee and a Conversation, so which is just kind of amazing in and of itself to me. But you know, I've had a lot of conversations with people, and so often we talk about, you know, those arbitrary lines that get drawn that separate, you know, counties into municipalities and attendance zones and all those other kind of things. They need to be kind of set aside. We're at a point now where it can't be that kind of territorial, I'm in it for me and mine and forget the rest of you. You can't have that kind of outlook anymore. I mean, it's just not sustainable. And as we're seeing right now today.
Yeah. And again, a win in the city of Warren or an improvement in the city of Warren that helps draw people to Warren County in any way, shape, or form, a new business that forms in the city of Warren or Youngsville or Duncan. I hate to bring up a competitor while we're here, but you know, they just opened yesterday. 35 employees from across Warren County.
Yeah, I heard Savannah asked, and I mean, Youngsville, Sheffield, and I think Russell were just right at the counter. The people at the counter were from those places.
It's a melding pot, and that happens at every business in the city of Warren. It happens in every business that's in Youngsville, Sheffield, Sugar Grove, you name it. It's not, we're not in these individual pods.
Yeah.
So anything that we can do to improve any activity, any business, any asset across the county helps us all.
Yeah.
So, well, kind of voluminous in scope, and then you come back down to where are the resources and how do we prioritize and try to figure out the biggest bang for the buck, and make sure that happens.
Well, and we were talking a little bit before we went on air about how Worx will help with that. You know, you mentioned the comprehensive plans for the county and the city, and so often those things get created and then they just sit. Because there's nobody communicating that, hey, you know, the comp plan says you should be responsible for this project and how are you going to do it? And now Worx is not only going to have that maybe accountability, but assistance in getting them the resources and the things that they need. Kind of explain that a little bit.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So the plans are put together. They're surveying the communities and what do you want to see in your community? What's a priority to you? What do you want your community to have? What attributes? What's the quality of life you're seeking?
Yeah,
and they come up with catalytic actions that would support that to get you to the kind of the roadmap to get to where we've said we want to be. But without looking at those actions and prioritizing them, monetizing them, because none of them are free,
right?
Regardless of how small or how grandiose the action is, there's funding, there's resources required. So the concept of Worx is to take those, not take over the comp plan or take responsibility for every action in the plans, but collectively to look at it and prioritize them, determine who's in the best position to lead the charge on that particular action item, and have the conversation with that entity. Is are you willing to take it on?
Right.
Are you able to take it on?
Yeah.
And what do you need from the rest of us to see it through? And oh, by the way, we're going to be monitoring your progress.
Right. I think that's the biggest key is that there's accountability for the progress of implementing whatever the action item is.
Right.
You know, and like you're talking about resources, and when we say resources, it's not always just financial.
No.
You know, do you need more people? Do you need, you know, vehicles? Do you need more infrastructure? What is it that's the hindrance that's going to prevent you from getting from A to B, and how can we?
Yeah, a prime
alleviate that?
example is something that we'll have a conversation about, or events such as the Johnny Appleseed Festival in Sheffield. They're hugely important. A great festival that was there.
Yeah.
That just had to. It ran its course with the people that were committed to running it, and I get it. I mean, volunteerism is harder and harder to come by. It's driven by population.
Right.
Everybody's busier than they used to be, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. So as a community, i.e. Warren County, Warren Worx is not going to take over administering a Johnny Appleseed Festival. But with that larger conversation, can we provide resources to ensure that programs like that are able to be continued? Yeah. That's kind of the issue. Let's not allow things to go by the wayside. If there's ways that we can bolster what it takes to get them done. Yeah, and you're absolutely right. I think that personnel, that human capital, is typically more important than the financial capital.
Yeah. Well, and especially, like you said, with volunteerism and things like that, it's just societally less time people are having to work more to maintain a roof over their head and food on the table. And, and we're seeing that not just with things like the festival, but, the volunteer fire departments and, they're all kind of in the same boat. And I think people kind of lose track. They've been institutions for so long that you get to a point where you take them for granted.
You just assume it's going to continue.
So somebody will take over and it'll be fine. Yeah. And then, as our young people are graduating high school and leaving, and many of them not returning, that chain of, this family's had volunteers do for generations. Well, this next generation is not here, so somebody's got to fill that void.
We ran out of generations.
Yeah,
those guys, those folks that have been running it for 20 years.
Right.
They're getting tired.
Yeah, yeah.
It gets hard. It's hard work.
Yeah,
it takes tremendous commitment. So we've got to grow that pool.
So and the one thing when I talk to people, try to tell them about everything that's going on, and one thing that I've heard, a concern that's been raised from people is how is Warren Worx going to be different from an entity like, say, a Grow Warren? Why should people have faith in this program when they've seen other ones not be successful?
Well, I think the scope is different. We're not looking at a specific neighborhood. We're not looking at a specific sets of physical projects. And the other real keynote to Warren Worx is it's got to be a bottom-up piece as opposed to half a dozen people deciding what's best for us. Yeah, right? I mean that just there's a time for that, and there's a need for those kinds of actions, but when we're talking overall community development and communication, it has to be more organic, and the conversations have to be more open and more often. And just understand, what are you struggling with? What is it that's not letting you get to where you want to go as a community? So those are the kind of conversations we need to have. And it's not focused on, we're going to improve XYZ street. Those are projects that are happening that we want people to be more aware of. But it goes deeper than that. It's more organic.
Well, and again, if you haven't read any of the comprehensive plans, please do so. They're available online. They're available in hardback or paper form, I guess.
We still make
hard copy. Hard copy. That's what I was looking for. Hard copy. We still have that, right?
We still have that. I still prefer it. I don't know. I'm aging myself.
But by all means, go out and read those documents if you have not, because that should give everybody an idea of what. And I think it's important for Mackin Engineering kind of facilitated that, and it's important to have somebody from the outside sometimes kind of look in and go, "This is really what you need to be focused on," because when you're inside, you may think but for everybody that's inside, and if the goal is to draw people from the outside in, you got to be focused on what they're looking at.
And sometimes you can get cynical about a comprehensive plan or a consultant coming in, and
so
I mean, the reality is they're giving back to us what we give to them. But what they do is they have the ability to combine all those comments and put the ones that are similar put them into a box, and then come up with how do you? Okay, here's your issue.
Yeah.
And we've taken these 9 comments, and they all have
Right.
the same root issue.
Yeah.
Or root desire. Here's a way we've seen implemented somewhere else.
Yeah.
That worked.
Yeah.
That met that. So
Right.
it takes those conversations and congeals them into a single focus. So they've just given us back what we've told them we want.
Right.
So now, I mean,
Yeah.
our branding initiative was timed critically to utilize all that input data.
Mhm.
It's typically, if you hire someone to do a branding study, they're going to do the same thing that Mac and Engineering
Right.
did.
Yeah.
Who are you as a community? What
Yeah.
do you want your community to do? What do you think? Who do you think Warren County is?
Right.
That work's already been done.
Yeah.
So we don't have to rehash that. We don't have to reinvent the wheel in that regard. We can just pass that information to somebody that can then congeal that and say, well, based on that, here's something that's
Right.
marketable.
Yeah. Here's kind of a, some imagery and some, slogans and things that concisely convey all of that.
Yeah.
To somebody who's not familiar with
Correct.
Warren County.
Yep.
And so I think we talk about this needing to be an organic from the bottom up and having conversations with people. How's the best way for members of the public to reach out and convey or start those conversations?
We're looking right now at the schedule of that. We have what we refer to as the stakeholders. Those stakeholder meetings will all be open to the public. We're looking at the schedule, trying to get the executive committee together next week. Hopefully, they have to start talking now. What's the meeting schedule?
Yeah.
We've already started talking about what's the outreach, so people are aware of when and where those meetings are.
Yeah.
And then
Stay tuned to
There you
yourdailylocal.com.
go.
We'll be sure to post all that information for you.
we will definitely be leaning on you for that assistance. And then equally importantly is how do we communicate back out?
Yeah.
After every meeting, what
Right.
was discussed, what are the priorities, what are we doing, what specific actions were taken, et cetera, so
Yeah.
people are aware. They can always call our office if someone has a point that they want to make and want to be considered. But again,
Or if they're like me, and if I don't tell you about it right now, I'm going to forget about it before the next
shoot
meeting.
us a note.
Yep.
Yeah, pick up the phone, give us a call,
Yeah.
and we'll make sure that we incorporate that, and that thought, that complaint, that suggestion
Yeah.
gets rolled into the conversation.
So beyond the marketing and hiring the firm and a marketing director for the county, as it stands today, what are some of the top priorities coming out of all these discussions that you think that Worx is going to look at?
The top
right
priority
out of the
again is pulling out that list of actions from the comp plans, prioritize them, make assignments, start looking at resources, et cetera, and just make sure that we have create a roadmap.
Yeah.
That takes out over the next 2 to 3 years. Okay, what are the projects? What are the initiatives? What are we going to do?
Yeah.
And who's going to do it?
Right.
That's really
And I think it's important. We talked about it. It's important for people to understand that none of these really are going to be an instantaneous or a short-term kind of. These are
some could be quick.
I mean, some would be quicker than others.
When we look at the low hanging fruit,
Right,
let's
yeah.
pick that off. And
Getting some new signage, for county or city limits or something can be done faster than, say, a riverfront development.
absolutely.
But I think it is important for people to understand that this is a long-term.
This is a long-term
project.
piece. This
Yeah,
is a
it's
new
not-
way of doing business in community development for Warren County. We've identified a 3-year window of life only because, I mean, it makes sense. 3
Right.
years is a manageable time frame to start looking at resources. But frankly, I just think this is the way we need to do business for the next 20 years.
Yeah,
There's really no end. We're not going to be done in 3 years.
No, definitely not.
Not going to be done in 3 years. So, hopefully we're able to get it to a point where it's just the way we do things.
Yeah.
Well, frankly, we've seen great success. Kane has seen great
Yes.
success. And it comes, why don't we do what Kane's doing?
I hear that all the time.
I do too.
Yeah.
Because I think we've done a lot of great things in Warren. We tend to ignore that. And we've got businesses that are starting up, homegrown, locally grown chain pieces.
The number of small locally owned businesses that have started, I mean, really in the last 5 or 6 years has just exploded.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
We got to increase the foot traffic.
Yep.
You know, it's a numbers game. We've got to
Yeah.
get more foot traffic in our communities to support those businesses.
Yeah.
So it gets a little bit annoying when I hear, oh, why aren't we doing what Kane's doing? Why aren't we doing what Corey's doing? Why don't we do what Ellicottville's doing?
Right.
And you get down and you talk to those folks, and it's all about communication.
Mhm.
It's all about, okay, let's talk. What do we want?
Yeah.
Where do we want to be? And how can we get together, jump in a boat together, row, and get there, all of us
Yes.
at the same time,
Right.
as opposed to, you know,
Yeah.
passing out 9 oars and
Right. And
And
I'm going
you
this
go
way, and
away.
you're going that way, and somebody's going up here. And,
happy paddling.
right.
So,
So, I mean, I know you've got some other things to
We got a few
accomplish
things
today.
to-
So,
yeah.
but I appreciate you coming on. Would love to have you back in a few months after some things have gotten rolling and
Absolutely.
really see where we're at. And again, I mean, this is exactly a kind of initiative that when we talk to people, we've talked about this being a need.
Mhm.
You know, a county-wide, everybody rowing in the same
Yeah.
direction. You know, one of my editors, former editors, used to say, every single monthly meeting we had, all boats rise in high tides.
absolutely.
And we've really got to start taking that to heart as a county and
Yeah.
and stop the territoriality and really just focus on we are in this together. We're 38,000 people that need to be working together if we're going to even attempt to put a dent in a 60-year population decline.
I want to get back to putting that sign up in Starbridge that said, welcome to the city of Warren, 15,000
Yes.
friendly people.
Yeah,
We're
Yeah.
at 9, so we've got,
Right.
we've
got a little ways to go,
We got plenty of room to grow.
Yeah.
And, so John Papalea is going to be running this event. He's going to be our point guy for Warren Worx. We're putting on them. He's at an age where he sees things differently than I do, and that's the demographic that we really need to focus on. That labor pool, 25 to 65, and I have 69 age group. We had a group in from Penn State University yesterday doing some branding work for us as a part of their classroom obligations. And that was the point. We want you to show us what you want,
right,
and what would catch your eye as a young professional coming out of college,
right.
looking for a community.
Because that's
community
exactly
you
who
wanna
we
grow
need
up
to.
in.
Yeah, that's who we need to target. Exactly.
Yeah.
And the Wilds Are Working folks that came last summer, I think,
Yep.
is another great example of a group of a workforce demographic that really would fit here in Warren County. You know, that remote work where you're working, but you're remote somewhere, and now you've got access to all these great outdoor resources that we have available. I mean, it seems like that demographic is a perfect fit
Agreed.
for what we have here in Warren County.
Yeah, our quality of life here is second to none as far as I'm concerned. We just need to take the cover off of it and let
Right.
more people know it.
Yes, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. So, Jim, again, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Appreciate you stopping by and getting some more insight on Warren Worx. And now that we're kind of on the way, look forward to a lot of great things coming out of Warren Worx in the near future.
We've got it teed up. Now we got to hit it down the fairway.
All right. Perfect. Hey, it's April. Golf leagues are getting underway.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
with that, well, we'll wrap it up for this week's edition of Coffee and a Conversation. Appreciate everybody tuning in, taking some time with us. For Jim Decker, this is Brian Hagberg saying thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your week.
Thank you.
You know what would make that better? A cup of white cane coffee.
Wow, that really is great coffee.
White cane coffee, because every cup makes a difference.
Here at Casella, we make temporary dumpster rental easy, offering services that are perfect for construction, remodeling, special events, or other short-term projects. Casella dumpsters are available in a wide range of sizes to fit any job. Our dedicated customer service team will help you choose the right size container and service level for your project and schedule hassle-free removal based on your specific needs. The right size dumpster, when you want it, where you want it, removed when you say so.